Yeah, okay. Alrighty guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Tyler Delcato. If you watched my first debut poker vlog, I really do appreciate it. I had a really fun day today. I went to a Cubs game in Arizona with my dad for his birthday and the rest of my family as well. We had tons of fun. We went out to eat, and then now I'm here at the Lone Butte. Gonna try to run it up. Let's get in there. First-handed note here of the vlog, guys. Number 2, it's on its way. 9-8 of diamonds in the big blind. There's a couple of limpers. The cutoff makes it 15, and we all call. Going 4 ways, the flop checks around on Jack 9-5, which is nice. We definitely could be ahead here, but we don't want to end up taking the betting lead over just yet, because they could definitely be slow playing some strong hands like overplayers since we're so multi-way. The turn is the 4 of hearts. Not the best card for our specific hand, obviously, but for our range, we could be picking up a lot of straight draws and flush draws here, as we do have a suited connector, and we could have easily had 9-8 of hearts as well. We decided to just check it over. The 2 people in between check, and the cutoff now bets $35. She's definitely one of the better players in the game. She stacked up a lot of chips so far. So if anyone can be getting out of line, it'd probably be her. Everyone else would probably be playing much more straightforward. So I end up making the call here for $35, and the guy to my left here snap calls as well. Don't know what he has, but possibly a marginal made hand, I guess, something like a jack. But we end up going to the river, 3 of diamonds, complete brick. I guess it brings in 6-7 if someone had like 6-7 of hearts. But as played, we end up checking. The guy in the middle actually folds out of spite, I guess. I don't know. He just folds instead of wanting to show if he can win. We show the 9, and we are no good against black pocket 10s. Unfortunately for us, we couldn't pick up the first hand of the vlog, but we're on to the next one. Immediately, we get dealt a premium pocket queens. Under the gun makes it 15, and we're in the small blind. You know what we're going to do? We're going to bump it up here. We go pretty large here since we're out of position. We go to $50 even. The guy to my left, I don't know how to explain it. He's pretty much just like a jack of all angles, I guess. The guy literally tries to call the $12 before I raise, so I think he's just calling, whatever. I make it 50 with queens. He instantly is in for less. I think it was $24. I get $1 back here, and he takes 1 stack of 25. So yeah, $24. Flop comes ace 10 6. So pretty scary here if he has some sort of ace. 5 turn river deuce, doesn't want to show, but I show him the queens, and then he shows ace 8 offsuit to scoop up this pot. I'm just glad he didn't have more money behind, I suppose. And then in the very next hand, guys, this is all within the first 3 hands of sitting down. We look at ace king offsuit on the button. Same lady raises it to 15. I try the 50 again. The guy to my left again tries to call the 15 before I can be in. I should probably learn my lesson since he tried to call the 15 with an ace last time, that he might have one this time as well. But it's actually pretty good if he has some weak ace here when I have ace king. We're going to a run out 3 ways to shorten up the action here. He calls for less than 50. She raises 150. I make it 220 total. We're all in. She snap calls. I ask her if she has aces. She doesn't say anything. She shows me kings though from across the table. And the guy to my left actually has pocket aces. So we're drawing extremely slim here. Not a very good situation to be in. We're going to need a little miracle here to win this pot. If we are hitting a 1-outer here for an ace, we're good for the side pot. But other than that, we definitely just need to hit queen jack 10 or 4 hearts, because the aces and kings are all accounted for. So the only live suit I have here is the hearts. So we're going to a heartbreaking flop. There is a tiny little bit of hope here. It comes out jack high, but the rest is history. 9 on the turn, queen on the river. Sucks at 9. Couldn't have been the 10 of hearts instead. We would have scooped a massive pot against aces and kings, but that's what they end up showing us. Black pocket aces. And for the side pot, the lady has pocket king, so she scoops a big side pot off of me. She doesn't lose nearly as much money as I did in the hand. I think she actually profited a little bit, and I pull out another 200. Win a couple small pots here and there. We're picking back up the action. I have pocket threes under the gun, and I make it $12. Three people call because they obviously see I'm on tilt, and now that looking back, raising threes here is definitely a mistake. I should just be folding. I could limp. I don't really like limping though, especially in our smaller stakes games. I would rather implement a limping strategy if I was playing something like 2-5 in Vegas. Again, limping here in the 1-2 game when the rake is so high is not very good. The button bet's $15, and I just have to get out of there with my threes. Unlucky for me, we lose this one as well. We're not getting off to the best start. And to make things worse, we pick up a semi-playable hand here in the hijack. My buddy to the left, who keeps angle shooting me with his calling and beating the table throughout the session, ends up snapping the $5 in at the same time I do. It folds around to us. I throw in the $5 chip. He tosses his in while slapping the table. I don't know if you guys saw my chips and the camera move. We go three ways to a flop when the button checks his option. It is ace 5-9, one diamond. Pretty good flop for our specific hand since we could definitely bink a gut shot here. So I'm going to be calling the $15, not a continuation bet, but $15 bet by the button. I believe it's actually the cutoff who calls there now that I'm looking back at the video, but the turn is pretty good for us here. The ace jack of diamonds is on the board. We have the 4-3 of diamonds. We have 4 to a flush. Not the best, but again, this guy bets out of turn, and I always think this is weakness here. Again, guys, the guy bets out of turn, so I just snap lead this brick river. It's a board pair, but it's a brick. $75, and he ends up tanking for a little while, hemming and hawing. I think he even hits the table one more time right before calling, but it didn't shake my camera as much. And I show the 4-3 very proudly to see what he thinks about it. He didn't want to show his hand for a while. He thought I must have had a straight or something, but there's no straight possible. And he ends up finally showing the beautiful premium hand of ace-7 offsuit. Very nicely played by him. On to the next hand here. You knew you weren't going to get through one of my videos without me saying beautiful, so we look down at the beautiful ace-jack of hearts. Middle position makes it $12. He seems like he's a pro. He's there at the casino a lot. He plays pretty seriously, doesn't talk much, stuff like that. I'm going to 3-bet him here, though. We're going to turn our ace-jack into a little bit of a bluff here. $42 in middle position. Calls us after tanking. You know, I say he calls us, but it's actually, I shouldn't be giving away the story because it actually takes him like 25 seconds to call us here, I think. It might be slightly sped up here. I actually look at my watch to see if the minute ticks by while he is waiting to make his decision. I thought maybe he was going to 4-bet us there and we would have had to fold. But here he goes. He's going to make the call here. We're going heads up to a flop of Queen Jack 5 with 2 spades. Definitely not the worst flop for our specific hand. I don't think he has too many queens. I'm getting a little ahead of my graphics here, but I think that's okay because I wanted to explain that this guy, again, is a heavy thinker when it comes to poker. Not only is he thinking, but I can only imagine if he's wasting his time thinking so long that he's thinking about what I can have. And what can I have here? A lot of weird hands that I'm 3-betting with. Aces, kings, queens, jacks, tens. So I could have just said tens plus. And then we're looking at ace king, ace queen, ace jack suited, maybe ace queen, ace king offsuit, king queen suited. A lot of those hands that I can have in my range. Definitely maybe some nines as well. I don't think I would go too far to nines. I might just flat call with nines. Again, I'm only explaining this. I'm not a big theory guy when it comes to the vlog here, but I'm only explaining this because this guy tanks for a country mile, and I really do not know how to pause my videos and talk about them. I'll learn how to do that eventually, I think. But he ends up making the call here. I bet small, $28, so it's a little like 1/3 of the pot, I believe. Pretty good sizing, I think. You know, get him to call with a lot of hands, a lot of draws. I also make this small sizing here because I don't want stack sizes to get too awkward when I can only bet $100 per street per bet. And I'm kind of thinking to myself, I'm just going to be jamming any blank turns here, or maybe even if it brings in another draw, which I think is both. It brings in like a 6-7 of spades, having an up and down draw as well, giving him a little bit more equity, but I think even his percentage would go down in the hand since there's only one card to come. I jam for $70 as soon as I see the brick. I don't want to do too much thinking here when the guy is a heavy thinking player. I don't want to give him more time to think. I'm not going to necessarily be calling the clock on him at all, ever. I'm going to let him think. If someone else wants to call the clock, they can. He's not taking too much time, but again, he's taking more time than needed. Like if he had something like King 10 of spades here, and or even just regular King 10, he would know that he's getting the odds to call, which he does call. The river's at 9, and I didn't want to spoil anything, but I say I have a jack, and he does not have King 10 because he mucks his cards, and we pull in this pretty nice pot, bringing us back after that huge bluff attempt. Kind of wish we had more money because he still had about $100 behind. Would have been nice to get all that money in by the river. Again, guys, not doing the best today, but we do scoop in a pretty good pot here in the middle of the session. Hopefully we can keep the momentum going and grind back out to even. And for people that are not liking when people tank and make decisions, it's a part of poker. I think it's actually better if you take a little bit more time to make your decision just so you don't oversee anything. So I'm not bashing this guy for thinking a long time by any means. I think actually I wish that I thought a little bit more about each specific decision before I made it. I just really had to highlight that the guy's tanking a lot. So I really like to act fast, not necessarily make bad decisions, I hope, but just act fast when people are acting slow so that I can potentially make them mess up. We're in the next hand here. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful ace king of spades. I'm in the hijack and I make it $12 and two people call. We go to the flop of 9-4 deuce. It checks around. The turn is another 4. It brings in a flush draw. We both check over to the button. I call and the cutoff calls as well. So we're looking at to improve here on the river, but not necessarily. I think even a board pair would make us be chopping with a lot of hands, which is not good for me necessarily. So I could have maybe found a raise there on the turn just to get all their bluffs out and win the hand outright. But we're looking here, the guy to my left who's been angle shooting me all night bets $25. And immediately I'm thinking to myself, if the button does not call, you know I'm going to be bluff catching against him here. He's definitely had my number because he keeps drawing out on me, but whatever. I was literally talking to them about I'm going to call this, but you already called, so I'm not going to call. And the guy shows ace queen, so we would have been good against both of them. The better end up having ace 5 offsuit, and the guy had ace queen offsuit. So I wish the guy with ace queen would have just raised pre-flop, and then we would have got some more money in there when I had ace king, and we would have been fighting over the pot that way. In the next hand, I'm in the small blind. I make it $15 over 2 limpers, and both of the limpers end up calling. I attempt to William Kasuf a chip there. I tried to steal one of the other guy's blind dollars, I suppose. But again, we're in the small blind. I'm not just going to check down, or sorry, I'm not just going to complete with ace 10. I'm going to be raising it here. Definitely don't want to just call here with ace 10 and then flop monster hands and then having no action in the pot already. But as this one rolls out, jack, jack 7 with 2 diamonds, we have nothing. We have no redraw except for maybe a Broadway draw that could easily be dead if someone is in this passive game and plays king jack or queen jack really bad. Again, the guy bets 30. We both have to fold here. I'm just kind of posturing here. I put my chips back down on my cards because I don't want the guy in the middle to think that I'm just going to snap fold, or even the guy up front to think I'm going to snap fold and he can use that against me. But we're folding where there's no thought. It's unfortunate we can't make a hand here in the middle of the session, but whatever. Since sitting down, again, after I walk up and take a little tiny bit of a break here, we come back at 9-10 of spades. The guy to my left who was angle shooting me all night actually busted when I was gone, so that's good. He was kind of annoying. A nit sits down in his seat, though, which is not the best, having a nit to my left. But hey, whatever. I make the call here for $12 after one caller, and I just know the big blind's folding everything that's not good. So we're not really worried about him raising us because it's hard to get a good hand in Texas Hold'em. Under the gun makes it $20 here. Both of us call. The hero, which is me, obviously, and the big blind both call the $20. I have top pair here with a backdoor flush draw and a backdoor straight draw. We're definitely not going anywhere. We're looking to build a pot here in case we end up hitting one of our backdoors and or two pair or trips. And while we're patiently waiting here for the turn, we're thinking to ourselves what the undergun player can have. Definitely some big pairs. Definitely no sets. I blocked the 9s here, so I don't think he has pocket 9s. I don't think he would raise with 7s. He would just limp in with 7s or 4s. The king's not the best card. I guess he could have ace king or queen queen, but I don't think he would necessarily continue those on the flop. So really the king is a complete blank to me. He either has the nuts like aces, kings, the effective nuts rather, or he has nothing. So he thinks for a while and makes it 25. I call. I'm definitely looking to dodge a different type of card here, something like a club. Don't want to see a club. Don't want to see another 7. Don't want to see an ace. But the river's a king. I don't know if my thought process is too good. I don't think he has many kings here in his range because I don't think he would raise and then continue with them. So I lead for $50, trying to just take it down here. Not too big again. And the only problem with this casino and poker in Arizona in general is that there's a bunch of promotions. And not only they take money out of the pot for promotions, but the guy ends up tank calling me with pocket aces. And you know damn well if I had his aces beat, he'd have paid a lot more money to see if he was beat just to get $100 back. The session's not going our way. We decide to rack up pretty shortly here, but we do get involved in one more pot at the end of the night, which is kind of punty on my part. I end up raising with queen 8 suited and then again running into pocket aces. So just can't seem to get anything going this session. We call it a day after losing that hand. We don't want to rebuy and lose any more money.
What's some money? You gotta take some money home. Oh no, they stopped it?
Yeah, there's 9 tournaments.
15.
10.
Into the game, 500. Out of the game, 0. Very unfortunate to lose. I knew it was going to come. I wish it wouldn't have came on the second episode, but it did. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope it wasn't too boring since I lost almost every hand. But hey, we'll see you next time. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. And if you're feeling frisky, ring that notification bell, and we'll see you next time.